So, here we are once again, PLP talking. You may recall me being dead. Yes, I die. I have been reborn and died many long times, but here I am once again. So, today we're going to begin a new kind of video. A new kind. This video and the series that will continue out of it will be called The Games That Inspired Me to Become a Video Game Dev. You know, for a long time I have asked myself why games were better in the past. What made them better? What is that just this magic that creates a video game? What is cool? And then I just began playing some games, some modern games, and they were utter trash. I didn't like them. They were really bad games, and I just couldn't get entertained. But then I think for myself, are video games bad nowadays? Or is I'm getting old, like video games aren't for me anymore? And then I realize something. Then I say, well, what if I played these old games that I used to play, and I have played them, and they are so much better than the modern stuff nowadays, so much better. And today we're going to talk about one of the games that inspired me to become a video game dev. A game called Hotline Miami. You may recall, if you are kind of old, that long time ago, when we were in the 12s, some years ago, there was a time where being indie dev was impossible. Like flash games, they were simple games, very simple, but no one could compete with AAA games. No one could. And then Hotline Miami appeared. Those guys were the first time when an indie dev could compete with a AAA game. It was the first time in history that happened. And so a new kind of thing was born. We had a new setting, and that was really interesting, really interesting. You have to comprehend how Hotline Miami changed everything. So let's go part by part. First, what makes Hotline Miami special? When you open the game, the first thing you will see is a bunch of animations. Really well done animations, mind you. So if you look at the animations, they're really cool. Like there's something that you watch and say, damn, there's effort here, there's care. And then you see the main menu, and it's so cool, it's so good. And then if you see the main menu, there's this calming music, this really cool stuff. And then if you continue playing, you will see all of these animations, and the game just starts. You are in the tutorial, you are there, and the game in 3 minutes you are already playing. You see, this is the main difference between a video game and something that is badly done. Because here, you start playing in less than 3 minutes. You hit play, bang, you are in. They don't start talking and just making tutorials and tutorials. Is, hey, press this button to do this, press this button to do this, bang, you are in. They don't waste your time like so many modern games do, and especially Japanese games. And so if you are there, and then you will begin playing the game. And it's really simple. Go, click. If the other character does the click on you, you lose. That's all the game. Go here, kill people. And then you will begin to see and to understand something really interesting. Something really, really interesting that the game does. That is to say, the game does something new, something interesting. Because if you go and you will see the structure of the game, that is to say, the game starts a mission, you get a call, then you go to the mission, that is to say, you go to your car, then you drive to the mission, you drop there, you go, you enter, you kill everyone. To a very nice soundtrack, mind you. Very nicely done sound effects, like the game just really well done sound effects. That is something that not only with the main menu, not only with that, like sound aspect is something that video games dev nowadays just don't care about, and it's the most important aspect. The sound of the game is really important. But take this into the consideration. Take this really simple aspect into consideration. If you go to the player, then when the level is up, the music stops. There is no more music. And then you have to travel the entire level. And then you realize something. Then you start to think and say, wow, this game wants me to tell something. And then if you continue playing, then when you reach the end of the level, you go to another place and you talk to a guy. And then the level ends. That is to say, before putting the really cool point system. That is to say, it comes to a point system and with really nice music. Gonna say, love how the game works. But here beyond the troubles, here there is trouble. That is to say, if you begin playing the game is really simple. So the devs have to think and say, hey, how do we grab this really simple system and make it interesting for more than 18 levels? And the problem is, you can do it. You can, mind you can do an interesting system. The problem is, the game has a lot of bugs. And this is the most important part. That this is the bad part about Hotline Miami. That is to say, the devs didn't see this through. That is to say, they were amateurs. There were two guys, which, yeah, guys, I understand, but the point is, the way the collision works and the system of physics that the game has just absolutely destroys the game. If you start to lose the game and you press R to restart, eventually the game just stops working. That is to say, if you are walking to an enemy, the enemy will instant kill you. And that will happen randomly. If you restart the game, then by art of magic you will kill the enemy and the enemy will not react. That is to say, the AI is completely random. The way sound works is completely random. Like, you could have an enemy walking, you shoot the shotgun and nothing happens. And the game says, hey guy, if you shoot your weapon, enemies will come. But this only happens with certain enemies, not with all enemies. That is to say, there is a random number that activates one enemy. And this is a very serious problem, because there is the entire gameplay of, hey, will the enemy see me? Random. Will this bullet kill the enemy? Random. Will I just grab this metal bat and kill the enemy? Random. Everything in the game is random. You will have an enemy, you will shoot the shotgun and you kill the enemy. You will do the same thing and this time you will not kill the enemy. So this is a very complex and very important problem with Hotline Miami. The complete random stuff. The fact that physics, the collisions don't work well. They just don't work. And so then the devs didn't know how to do the game better. They have some enemies, like there are some enemies with melee weapons, there are enemies with shotguns, there are enemies with double barrel shotguns, there are enemies with assault rifles, and there is dogs that, okay, there are dogs, and then there is the big guy. But the problem with the big guy is that you have to drop a lot of bullet or just have a shotgun, otherwise you won't kill the big guy. And this is a very big problem. And this is something that you will see with the bosses of the game. Bosses that are not very good. There are not very good bosses, like there are stuff that completely breaks the game, and that is all of the boss fights. Every boss fight that is in Hotline Miami is really badly done. It's not the main forte of the game. So you have levels that are very straightforward, that you will spend 40 seconds if you are really good. Like if you are bad, you will like maybe 2 minutes, and then the level's done. That is to say, short, very dense, very cool. I like it. I like short games. I don't like long games. I like short games because I can just play 5 minutes, I have made progress, everything is good. I really like it. Now, the problem is, this doesn't happen with most of modern games. And this is why I like Hotline Miami. For example, I have replayed the title to make this review. The first time I played the game, I spent 6 hours. When I finish this review, I just spent 30 minutes. So you can see how if you play the game, you will get better. And then you will finish it a lot faster. And so yeah, it's really cool. I like it. I like it. I really like the soundtrack. I don't like the last boss because it has a lot of random stuff that I don't really like. But the lore, the lore is cool. The lore is that a bunch of nationalist group in what is called America is in war with the Russian mob. So this group of nationalists just grab and say, hey, let's kill the Russian mob. And so they do. And using calls to grab some people and lead them in missions. And then if you see Jagged, he's part of our incel group. And then sadly, Jagged he rescues some snow bunny from the BBC factory, and then Jacket he becomes a simp, and so the nationalist group sees this and says, "Hey man, we are an incel group. You cannot have a simp. You have an e-tot in your apartment. Are you thinking of betraying us, little Jacket guy?" And so Jacket, if you continue playing the game, he becomes a simp. That is to say, he loses his true soul power, and eventually another incel with a ras mask comes in and kills him and his waifu. And so that is how the game ends. But then something interesting happens. The entire game was a dream. And so what the devs want us to think. How much of the game is truly has happened, and how much is just an initialization of Jagged? This is a very big question inside of the Hotline Miami fandom. Because you see, then the game goes to another character. You get a fake out ending. That is to say, they say, hey, there was this character that you killed, and in reality you didn't kill him. he killed you. And so you are there thinking like, but I did kill the guy. Or did I? And so this is the problem with Hotline Miami. That is to say, there are two different sets. And then you have to think how much of road A is a dream. How much of that is real? Because if you think about it, the redhead guy that is your friend only works in one place. And so the other locals have different people working on them. If you play Hotline Miami 2, you will see that the pizza guy is a different person. And so that begs the question, how much of Hotline Miami 1 was a dream? And most importantly, why did the devs start making games? That's a really interesting question. More so when there was a time that the last game came about just at the end of 2016 with the appearance of Donald Trump. A game about a group of nationalists fighting against the Russian map. And then they just stopped after electing Donald Trump. Now that is really interesting in my eyes. Almost as it was a psyop to just make Donald Trump the United States president. And so, well, what makes cool Hotline Miami, you may ask? Well, gameplay is tight. Gameplay is short bursts of fun and adrenaline, short bursts of good sound design, very cool soundtrack. You have this mystery, this lore of saying, who is these people? Who are these guys? Are dead with masks? I'm the only one giving these talks? Who is the biker? Who is 50 Blessings? You start to have all of this little stuff around that gets really interesting. But then, sadly, the devs didn't know how to do the sequel. Like I said, you can make an interesting system. And so they did in the sequel. They just grabbed what I say and they made another game. A very worst type of game. Where if Hotline Miami was just 18 very well done short levels with really bad boss fights, then it came Hotline Miami 2. And that game is really bad. And that game didn't inspire me to become a video game dev. But Hotline Miami 1 did. Hotline Miami 1 really inspired me to become a video game dev. And in the future you will see what I'm talking about. In the future you will see one of the games that I'm working about. I really like it. I really like Hotline Miami. I like the fact that it gives the confidence to indie devs in general to make the little stuff an original type of game. I really like the influence that Hotline Miami has had in the indie dev scene. Being an indie dev myself, I really like the fact that all of these people can have a very well articulated reason to become an indie dev, because someone has success before. And so to all the indie devs, to all the people that really like video games, that want to understand how to make a video game, my really good advice to you is to just play Hotline Miami 1 and then look to this little stuff that is in the game and wonder, why do people don't make games like that anymore? Why? Why there isn't more games like that. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it was all just part of a dream. Maybe it was all part of a psyop.